It is good.
Clerk Dixon, paper. Get it all sorted out.
So I was gonna ask you, did you see anything about borrowing a picture?
But what?
Borrowing a picture from the, because I find them sometimes secretly, and then it doesn't do it. Sometimes I write something for the hot newspaper. I think she was somebody tonight said, do you have a good drive? I just wanted to mention to you because if they use it, you won't get a photo credit unless you want a photo credit.
Oh, the Highlands paper?
See, I have to put my name on this one, so, okay. She might not.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here to speak on public comment, I need for you to sign up on the speaker list that we have here at the
So I don't know,
lecture.
she's gonna be kind of interesting.
It's 7 o'clock.
Hey, how are you? Anyway.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll call the August the 5th meeting of the town council to order. First item of business is pledge of allegiance, led by Vice Mayor Barnum Fraser.
Please join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next item of business is adoption of tonight's town council agenda. Is anything anybody wants to add or subtract? Mr. Collins, about the alcohol issue, did you have anything you wanted to add tonight?
I think we can leave a quick update, I don't know if it needs, we can add it as an agenda item, so it's after the pleasure of the council.
Just make that F,
Yes.
okay, and we'll make that G.
I'd just like to add, just a little discussion about maybe a sign on Main Street regarding the parallel parking and the speed.
And speed?
The speed with it.
I'll join you. Absolutely. Okay. Anybody else have anything to add or subtract?
Quick question
Yes,
about just something about the consent agenda. Since there was a public hearing listed on the consent agenda, I just wanted to ask if we could just announce the date and time of that and not just glaze over the consent agenda.
Pull that out the agenda.
Just announce date and time so public's aware of it.
Okay. Normally it's at 7:05, is it not? Pardon?
6:05, Mr. Mayor.
I just have a hard time. It's only been a year since we changed. 6:05.
I just, wanted to make people aware.
You're exactly right. That'll be in our regular scheduled board meeting. So that would be what, September the,
Be on a Tuesday,
I got you back, didn't
You got me back, didn't you?
Okay.
Payback.
All right, 6:05 at the first Monday in September at the regular council meeting.
This Tuesday.
And it will be advertised in the
So it'd
paper.
be Tuesday.
and online.
Okay.
But hey, I think it's a good.
Okay, does that take care of that, Mr. McMahon?
As amended, I'll move we adopted council agenda.
Second.
Nobody else has anything to add? Okay, all in favor? Second, and all in favor? Okay. Approval of the consent agenda with the change that Mr. McMahon proposed. Entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda? Okay, all in favor?
September the 3rd, if we ever said it.
September the 3rd.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Labor Day the 2nd this year. All right, we've got several people signed up for the public comment session. Ms. McCann, Welcome.
Thank you.
Come right ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I've never done this before.
We're okay.
I'm a
We
little
just ask
nervous,
you to
so
keep
bear
your
with me.
comments to about 5 minutes if you will.
Okay, I'll try my best. I'm here to discuss about the lack of ordinance to control the dogs in our town. I had to call the police 2 different times about the neighbor's dogs. The police did all they could do to take care of the situation. The laws that are in place now do not go far enough. When I am out in town, I see many people with dogs. Their dogs are on a leash or they're carrying them in their arms. There are many times people visiting Franklin from out of town where they usually have leash laws. Are you going to wait until a child is mauled or killed before you do something to protect the residents of this town? I know you can pass an ordinance to stop the dogs from being allowed to run at large in our city where people live close to the neighbors. We do live close to each other here in town. You were elected to pass town laws or ordinances to protect the residents that live in our city limits as well as people who visit here. It is on record that the police were called to the same location 18 times. 3 of these were for dog bites. The dog that was biting was a pit bull. There is one other dog bite that I heard of that was not reported to the police. The other times when police were called were for dogs chasing or growling at people. These times, the dogs were allowed to run at large in the neighbors' yards, on the sidewalks, and in the business parking lot. I understand the dogs were supposed to be kept restrained, or one of them was. The owners would say they opened the door and the dogs ran out. My common sense tells me that if I've got a dog that's supposed to be restrained, that I put a leash on it before I open the door. None of the events of the police being called for the bites or the growling or chasing of people were when the dogs were on the owner's property. The dogs were on the property on our property many times. 2 of these times I called the police. Once in July and once in August. The last time was August the 1st. Animal control took these dogs. Animal control and the police were both at the owner's property the 18 times I told you about them being called. Please pass an ordinance to stop this before we have something very bad take place in the future.
Thank you, ma'am. And I think you're talking about the West Main situation.
Yes, I am.
Right, the owner is in jail.
I know
The
that.
owner is in jail and the animals are under the county. They're no longer at that residence.
I know that.
And we're talking right now with the county and county animal control, Mr. Rocco, the county health director. We are trying our best to address this thing and come up with something that's gonna have some real teeth in it. This particular situation, a lot of it involved state law of what could and could not be done.
Yes, but you can add to the state law.
And
I
we-
know you can't take away from it,
We can make
but
it
you
greater.
are allowed to add to it.
Yes, ma'am. And we are working on that, the ordinance review committee is getting with it. The county is involved right now, as is the town, and so I think we're gonna come up with, something that's gonna have a lot more teeth in it. than what
I have
exists.
nothing against dogs.
Oh, I know.
I have owned dogs myself, but I have a yard that is fenced in, the backyard. And I kept them in the fenced in area.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I don't think you're gonna have any problem out of these particular dogs.
Well, I may not,
Yes, ma'am.
but do we want to wait until some other dog
No.
does this?
No, ma'am. We lost sleep over it as well as you did.
Well, it needs to be taken care of, and I
We
beg
are.
you to do something about it.
We are, I will tell you right now, as far as I know, we will get something done.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Bishop, welcome, sir.
Guys, I appreciate you hearing me tonight. I'm here to request, the removal of a couple of parking spots that is at the top of, South Patton Avenue on, Commerce Street. It's only 2 spots that are actually on the street, and if I can show you these pictures, I don't think I made enough copies. But as you're pulling out of South Patton at the top of the hill, it's, vehicles are just, that view is blocked. And, you have to pull into the street before you can see the, oncoming traffic. Of course, that puts you in the street. The 2 spots are kind of in front of Wyatt Insurance. I've talked with Mike Wood and Jeff Fuller, and they're, okay with it being eliminated, if y'all would see fit. And, you know, Drake is, you know, of course, my restaurant is there, and I've got a lot of people pulling out, customer comments, that, you know, they have a hard time seeing us at pulling out. And of course, Drake is getting ready to, those 2 buildings, I think, have the potential for about 150 employees. So that's gonna be a much busier little intersection. So I would like for y'all to consider removing those 2 spots.
Just doing away with those 2,
Doing away with the 2 spots.
okay, to open up the line of sight.
Wyatt is the most effective business with it, and of course, like I say, they're okay with it, and it would make it much easier to see to get out and much safer.
What would be involved in doing that?
Mr. Mayor, Council, if I may, I have ran this by the police chief as well, and he has noticed, you know, that visual line of sight is an issue in that particular area. So that's something he does concur with as well. Mr. Henning?
So, you know, sidewalk, and parking ordinance or control by ordinances that this, council passes, and you could change your parking schedules to say no parking in those particular 2 places. It doesn't take a hearing, it doesn't take anything like that, but bring back an ordinance change to you next month, and that will take care of it.
Is it something that could be done tonight, or do we have to wait another month?
You want, you wanna direct us to go ahead, and if the council is clear on it, I hate to do that, because we have a good practice, I think, of not taking action immediately on items that come up from public session. And so I'd urge you not to get away from that practice when we bring back an ordinance to consider.
What about when it's involving public safety?
I mean, if there's a public safety aspect that the police chief feels strongly enough about it to make that decision right now, that it ought to be, you know, taken out of
I just suggest that this is person to be heard, but really not person to be heard, to be going back and forth at all with the ones given the talking to us, so I thoroughly, I think we should go further than that.
Suffice it to say that the police chief has authority if he feels like there's a public safety issue to take care of.
So he can take care of it without actually having to do it.
Yes, sir, but then we bring it back to the board to make a decision.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you very much. Okay, Ms. Taylor, Ms. Taylor. Welcome.
Thank you. Just wanted to come back and thank you all again for the support for the Heritage Festival. It was a great success, even though we had a little bit of rain. That was a good thing. It took them inside the stores, got out of the rain, and then went back out. So we do appreciate everyone here that the opportunity for us to be able to do that. Also, the Hometown Market Day, we are gearing up for that, which is the 31st of August, which is Labor Day weekend. So we're taking tents out to the street with businesses, and we're getting other crafters and antique people that do antiques, refurbishers, multi-level marketing, like Lula Rowe and some of those ladies that have home-based businesses. So we are filling the streets with that, and Phillips and Iowa as well. And we just want to thank you for that support. You'll be seeing some brochures around. You'll also see a new tagline that we as the streets, we're trying to associate ourselves with Main Street and downtown. And we've had a lot of taglines with Heritage and Hometown and Appalachian and all of that. It gets a little bit confusing of what goes where and where, and it is also confusing for our tourists and for our residents on when is that, where's that one at? So you will see Hometown a lot from here on out, and you'll also see a tagline that says, enjoy local. You know, we've said from time to time we want you to shop local, but really we want you to enjoy local. So you'll see that with the streets. One of the things though that also, right quick, like that the Streets Association asked me to bring tonight, and just for your information and maybe idea and thought and consideration, is here lately there is a lot of, well, I'll say this nicely, poop on the streets, where people are walking their dogs and they do not clean up. So the streets wanted me to ask to see if there were a chance to put maybe poop bags on the receptacles where the trash, I don't know if they would use them, but a lot of us go out every morning and clean it up. And so it would be nice if we could do something or come together to do something on the trash bag or the trash receptacles there. And also, I just had several people have asked that maybe additional receptacles for cigarette butts, maybe on like the side of the street where I'm on, where myself and Roland and Leanders and on that side of the street, there's one at the crosswalk and one at down the other crosswalk. So there's nothing sort of in between there. If maybe we could have another one placed there, or look at the distribution of them as they are, because people are putting out their cigarettes in the flower pots. So I did want to bring that to your attention. But there again, thank you for all your support.
Thank you.
Maybe we could put up a sign, field strip your cigarette butts. Some of you know what field strip means. All right, nobody else signed up for public comment. Thank you, Gwen, and it was a good festival, absolutely. Okay, new business, street closing request for altered frequencies, Mr. Ledford.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for letting me come up here and talk to y'all. We actually want to retract our request to close the streets down on Thursday night. We're still having the event. We're looking forward to it, but we've taken care of a lot of the concerns that we had with the street closing. First and foremost was safety. The town helped us with the guardrail, and we really appreciate that. I joke that we have at least the second best guardrail in town. So thank you. Second was relationships with our neighbors, and Donnie's been a good neighbor. He allows us to use his parking lot when he's closed, and we don't want to tarnish that. When we called, Donnie was the only one that had any opposition. He said that he lost 40% of business the night that last time we closed. So we do not want to interfere with anybody else's business or make it worse. And we've kind of figured out the parking was our other concern. We found a public parking lot right down Thames Road. Mike Wood with Wyatt has been kind enough to let us use his parking. Donnie has let us use his parking after he closes at night, and now that our ticket booth is open and up front, we're able to monitor that more closely to make sure that nobody that's coming to our place parking at his while he's open. So, if it pleases the town, I would just like to say thank you for allowing me to have a few minutes to speak, but we wanted to take away that request.
Yes, that makes that part moot then, since you're rescinding that request.
Yes, sir.
You wanna just, did anybody want to say anything about that street closing request? You're good, okay. The music venue event, Mr. Ledford? Ready to slide into that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just want to thank the board again for letting me talk about this. It's something that I've been talking about for quite some time. Stephen King fans might call it my dark tower. That's kind of how I identify with it. Please understand this is a working title, this is a working date. This could happen in 2021, this could happen in 2022. This doesn't have to be in the springtime, although I believe that around the time we have Springtopia is a good time because that's when all the hikers come in. There's already events centered around that time of year. There are good reasons to have it around the spring. But this is only meant to be a very beginning conversation, more of a directional conversation with the town. We believe this will be an event that we will have and will happen, but it's just getting started, and the town involvement is a big part, whether they're for it or against it. We need to decide that before we go much further. So that is my intention here. Melissa? Okay, thank you. So here we go. We're talking about a town-wide music festival. Again, a working date of April 2020. I believe that is a reasonable date to do something on a small scale, maybe a first time. The idea is to have live music on multiple stages. I'm going to compare this event to Bonnaroo, but only because of some of the statistics. It would be similar to Bonnaroo, but I think that it would be more, the town itself would be used for the festival, not a field outside the town. So they're talking about live music on multiple stages, arts and crafts spread throughout the town, throughout the stages that we already have here, at places like the Rathskeller, where I've talked to the owners, Mr. and Mrs. Kimby, that believe that the music scene is growing here in Franklin and would like to be involved in any way they can. I talked to Freddie down there at the gathering. They're ready to do anything we can. A little area there is kind of getting some music center area of town. Talked to Tommy Jenkins at the Lazy Hiker, and he assured me they're all full on board as long as the headliner's on their stage. Whatever you want, Tommy. Whatever you want. Curry, Brandon, as you can see, he's making arrangements already, built in a stage out there by the river. Beautiful ending for the river race that could be part of the festival. Mulligan's, they're on board down there, FP and his crew. These are just the ones we've talked to recently and that we've reaffirmed with that are still on board. I know I've talked to many residents, tourists, citizens that believe that a town-wide music festival of this nature might be exactly what Franklin needs to, help its economy and maybe help its culture and the way it's seen in the rest of the world. So Bonnaroo, as some of you know, Bonnaroo is a 4-day music festival. It's held each June since 2002. The main attractions include multiple stages with diverse music genres. The founders were inspired by music festivals they attended in the 90s, and they found a site in Manchester, Tennessee that had facilities and good highway access. Good highway access is a big thing, and it's something I believe Franklin has, that we have an easy way to funnel people in and out of the town. People can come if they want, they can go if they don't. Using one of their website, the first festival in 2002 sold out in 2 weeks. And by 2003, so that's only 1 year, the festival was named one of the top 50 moments in rock and roll by Rolling Stones magazine. So in 2007, the founders purchased the land and created Great Stage Park, and then installed a permanent stage in 2010. So, Manchester, Tennessee is in population is very similar to Franklin. When you take the county and the town there, they got 55,000, and it's about 65,000 total, which is pretty close. And in 2016, the median household income was 48,568, and that grew over 17,000 in 2016. I guess it took 16 years. That's that median household income. That's quite a jump. So in 2019, and this is just to reaffirm that the entertainment scene is one of the largest growing scenes in America right now. It grew $20 billion last year. In 2019, the festival sold out for the first time since 2013, 80,000 tickets. They had the biggest lineup, they had the biggest pre-sale in Bonnaroo history by a huge margin. Before the lineup was even announced, they sold out. So people just want festivals, they want music, they want these kind of things. I mean, it's not for the music, it's not for the lineup, it wasn't for who's there, it's for the festival. It's for Okay, so ticket and on-site sales generate 1.2 million. So 25% of Coffee County's annual sales tax collections are from this festival. It's about a 5-day festival now. Of 1.2 million. 25% of their annual sales tax is made from this festival. Bonnaroo generates $56 million for the regional economy. I wanted to share with you, I know that people have different attitudes, but I did want to share with you something, a little 2-minute clip. I believe I have time. And this is a video of the mayor and the county manager thanking the Bonnaroo crowd and presenting the key to Manchester to Brandy Carlisle. Brandy Carlisle is heavily involved in the Pride movement, and she made a statement that said, "I feel it is so important to stand in front of you right now and talk to you about my family and our right to exist in this county today." This is the part that really hit me. It says, "Progress doesn't only move one direction. It can also go backwards. We must not let it." So I think that Franklin's made a lot of progress and is making a lot of progress and can continue to make progress. And I hope that this might be the kind of progress that y'all think would work for Franklin. Can't pull up that link right now, but I guess what we're asking Franklin, asking the town board if the things that we could use for them for help would be support, cooperation, involvement from the town of Franklin with law enforcement, road closings, alcohol permits, use of town property, time, and mostly we would just want to know, would the town stand in our way? Would they make it harder? Do they want to be involved at all? Is this something they don't want here? So that's really what we're trying to understand at this time, is that we're not trying to push a square peg into a round hole somewhere where it's not wanted. So that's all we're asking for right now, is a little direction from the town.
Thank you, Scott. Any comment from the board?
I would say, frankly, steeped in music might not be the same kind of music Bonnaroo has. Bonnaroo's got bluegrass too. I don't think Jimbo's wrong by the idea that music is a big part of our culture, and then culture is a big part of Franklin. I think we're all pretty proud of it. So, I would like to see the town. This is obviously like the most preliminary planning, stage you have. But I would, see the town almost as a stage in itself. Have music on those same days. It could be a thing that starts small, but things always have to start small. So I would personally like to see Franklin do what it could to assist you and work with you. I don't think any of us want to stand in the way of anybody. I think that's any of our intention. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it.
I like the idea that you're using existing places. You're not really having to go to all the trouble of inventing something and creating a great big something before it's going to work. I think that's a good plan.
It keeps the people in the town.
Yeah.
We can move them where we
Even in the
want.
town. Yeah, very good.
I can hear certain county commissioners say heads and beds probably.
Yeah, we have a lot of places, different ways of doing that.
Yeah, I think there's a place for it. I think there's room for something like this in Franklin. How it will look, I don't know, but I like what you've laid out here. I don't know that the town government can help you so much as I'd like to see us stay out of your way and not throw roadblocks in your way. Allow you to set this up and get it done without us trying to stop it.
Since you made the comparison to Bonnaroo, I've actually been to Bonnaroo several times. And the thing that always struck me about it that was so amazing is there's a sense that everyone's there for the same reason, and everybody gets along. There's no craziness, there's no violence of any sort. Everyone there is just there to have a good time, and everyone's, staying calm and cool and having fun. And I'd like to see whatever possible to be done to keep things moving in that sort of direction, like not just like bedlam, not like when they tried to rehash Woodstock and they burned down the stage and all that, but just nice, gathering of like-minded folks who just wanted to hear music, and I would definitely not be opposed to that, personally.
It was $450 for us to get into Bonnaroo per person. It's really, they keep the trash out pretty good. I shouldn't have said that, but
Anybody else? All right, I guess this is just for informational purposes tonight, Council.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's not where close to, sorry, Mr. Collins.
It's, what you're presenting, I have no problem with. Bonnaroo's probably not a good example in that we're starting with local establishments having music versus Bonnaroo, which is the song. But nonetheless, I do agree, you start somewhere and then it flies where it doesn't, whatever. And in that respect, yeah, I'm okay with it.
It took them 19 years and 17 years, so, you know, but it has to start somewhere.
That's right.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Joe.
Sure.
Ms. Baker.
I should know this, I guess, but where is the gathering?
The gathering is right next to, I just say this because that's where they're from, it's a Mexican establishment, it's a private club right next to the Mulligans. Freddie owns it, Freddie, they also own La Italiana. So they're actually really big in the music scene. They've got live music every weekend from local bands, and so they've opened up a second, it's more of a private club. They charge a cover, like we do, so, and the culture's already changing, people are catching on to this idea, but it's right next to Mulligans, short answer.
Okay, anybody else? If not, we'll move on to discussion of the Franklin Garden Club. I have been meeting some with Debbie Riles and the volunteers at the Garden Club. And the situation is, basically, the two squares, the Rankin Square and the Clock Tower Square, are basically about coming to their life's end. They are needing to do some major repair, some replacement of the turf, some trees that probably need to come up. But anyhow, what they have done, they have come up with some estimates. And to get just about everything done that they need to do is going to run about $7,200. And the Garden Club is like a lot of other organizations right now, they're running out of volunteers. And what I would like to propose, right now we give $2,500 to the Garden Club a year, which is barely scratching the surface. We have $15,000 budgeted for economic development, and I would like to ask the board to consider giving $5,000 additional, where we're giving $7,500 to the Garden Club to upgrade those squares, which means so much to downtown Franklin and to our economy. Yes, sir.
And those funds would specifically be used only for those projects benefiting the town.
Exactly. That's all it would be for, and it would all be done with the volunteer labor, except for the professionals that would have to come in to redo that, the turf and all. So I told him I would bring it before the board and see if there was any feeling about it. Yes, Mr. Collins?
So in our current budget, there's $2,500
Yes, sir.
that didn't go the way of the nonprofits.
It's always in beautification. The town council about 4 or 5, maybe longer than actually, about 6 years ago, moved that since it really doesn't qualify, Mr. Henning, I think you remember this as well, as a nonprofit. It's always been paid out of our beautification line.
Okay, and then the suggestion is for what, 5,000 of the 15,000 we have for economic development?
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to see.
I think there's no question in my mind that it's a huge asset to the town. I mean, they're just beautiful. You see people in there all the time, like girls in their prom dresses getting their pictures made there. You know, I mean, it's just really a community gathering place. I think that it's very valuable use of money.
So are you suggesting that it be $7,500 per year, or that we retain $2,500 per year and do 5,000 injection for
No.
1 year?
No, 2,500 is what we have budgeted and 5,000 on top of that.
Per year, or just?
No, for this one-time thing. I've got the estimates and all of what it will cost. And there would be planting strips between the sidewalks. And I hate to say it, but I think some of those trees between the sidewalk and Main Street eventually are gonna have to be replaced.
Because they're dying?
Well, not really, but they're kind of buckling the sidewalk a little bit. And they're about to reach their lifespan anyhow. I did, I think they did, yeah. And they don't all have to be replaced at the same time, I don't guess, but, they're concerned about the life of those trees too.
But I wouldn't wanna get rid of all the shade at one go, cause that's, part of the beauty of a garden is mature landscaping, so
Oh, yeah.
that would concern me more
Yes,
than
ma'am.
what the funding.
What is the, 15,000 economic development, what is it normally earmarked for? I mean, what do we use it for? Ms. Kip,
Yes, Ms. Mashburn, so this year we added $15,000 to economic development for public art.
and that falls under that Economic Development Commission.
Yes, sir.
And that's pretty good public art we've got up there. It's the center of town.
but that's already, is that earmarked already, that 15,000 for the project?
We talked about it, but it never was earmarked.
I thought we did earmark it.
I don't think so.
It's just in your budget as, it's not a specific line item, it's in your budget as 15,000 for economic development for this council to decide how you wanna spend it. But there is 15,000 in there.
What do we expect the lack of those gardens to have? Is that in 3-4 years before the turf has to be replaced?
It's been longer than that.
But I mean, but,
Yeah.
I know it's been longer than that, but I mean, I haven't been there a while playing with the kids, but it could use some love, but it didn't seem like it was in such a shocking state of disrepair that it needs imminent replacement.
The warranty on it, I think, was for 8 years. So it's been at least 8 years now. It's been way further than that, really.
I'd like to say about the trees, just something I noticed during the festival. It was so hot downtown, where the tents were and so forth. And I walked home straight down Main Street, and when I got to in front of the courthouse, I suddenly realized it was 5 or 10 degrees cooler there than it was down in the other part of town where there are no trees. The trees are really doing a good job in that area of keeping the temperature.
Oh, I'd be the first to admit that. You're absolutely right.
They're supposed to be specially designed trees for urban landscapes.
And that was just one thing that I mentioned. I don't know that they have to come out. They have talked about the ones that are right next to the sidewalk. We have had a few little limbs fall, but other than that, they're still pretty up. They're a lot healthier in that tree, and it never refuses to die in front of the museum.
It's a healthy tree.
I know it is. It's just tall.
Yeah. It has been for 20 years.
Absolutely, it has. So the turf, some other things, they need some help.
Mayor,
Yes.
was this 15,000 kind of, maybe people think of the Women's History Trail
Yeah, that's what it
in Barber? That's near and dear. Are you comfortable if for some reason they got lessened because of this? Well, that's what it sounds, you know, it sounds like you're supportive of this, and it's probably good chance it's gonna come out of this.
My question, is there any other budget, but beyond that? I mean, was there anything else?
You could take it out of your fund balance, or what you could actually end up doing if it's the will of the board tonight to move it from the economic development line item where the 15,000 is budgeted. If an opportunity were to present itself in the next few months to where Ms. McRae and the council wanted to award additional funding for the Women's History Trail, you could make an appropriation. I could find another line item if we had to.
When is DOT gonna tear up that intersection and put in crosswalks? And they're gonna do some landscaping, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna have downtown trees in our crosswalks.
Yes, that project should let later this month, so we should start seeing something.
I mean, is there gonna be some overlap if the garden club
That's
spends
an excellent
$7,000
point.
tearing up these squares, and then DOT comes in and tears up squares and hits a water line or power line,
I mean, that's a valid
we're gonna go
concern.
back into that? I mean,
They're not tearing up the square.
No, but just, I mean, you will have all those crosswalks torn
The
up. So
crosswalks
I'm sure
will
they'll
be
store it.
fixed, but all this can be done at the same time.
At least in conjunction,
Yeah.
in coordination.
When did they want to start on that road? Well, I know.
I think, just personally, those squares are the most important things downtown Franklin right now. They are beautification, they provide shade. These ladies and men with the garden club are down there at least one day a week donating their time. And I don't think that adding $5,000 to that $2,500 is a great sacrifice. That leaves $10,000 more for whatever project y'all want to use it for.
I think they deserve a good thank you for what they're doing. Those are beautiful squares. I question the timing of tearing it up immediately when we don't exactly have a clear picture of what it's gonna look like whenever those crosswalks are in, what type of landscaping DOT's gonna allow us to put in those medians.
You want me to go down the scope of work for you?
Sure.
Okay. Removal and disposal of existing turf and infill. Installation of new HDPE edge restraints. Refurbishment of the existing base material. Refurbishment of the existing concrete edging along the paver edges. Installation of Easy Turf Nutmeg Lush Tall 2-inch turf. Installation of Easy Fill ceramic coated sand infill. Final adhesive and stainless steel staples to secure the edges. Site cleanup and removal of all renovation debris. Registered new turf, but Easy Turf warranty of 8 years, and the fountain has got to have some major renovation to it.
And that's included.
That's it, pretty much.
I wish we'd had this before we did the budget. $5,000 isn't that much money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is this something we could earmark, promise them $5,000 from next year's budget and they can wait a year on it, or is it falling apart at the seams right now? I don't wanna upset them or anybody, because they do a good job, and it needs to have love, and it needs to be beautiful.
It's something that's in place now that we could help right at this moment. Yeah. It's not something that's coming down the pipe. The gardens are there, Mr. Culpepper.
And
They're
they're
there
beautiful.
right now, and they are beautiful, and we need to keep them that way.
I don't disagree that they're beautiful, and we should keep them that way. I just don't wanna have to repair them twice.
I don't know that you're going to have to.
I don't know either. That's why I'm.
When are we
against
supposed to
it.
start on the crosswalks?
Within the next month or so. I mean, theoretically, you know, it'd be up to the garden club if the town council wished to move forward with this proposal. You know, I could see them doing this more of a spring project because you're getting towards the end of your planning season now. And that would pair nicely with the end of construction that's gonna happen downtown. You're looking probably downtown at least October, November completion. So I mean, this might be something, I mean, they could do in the spring.
But they've got to have the money
Yes.
appropriated now.
Yeah, we could pledge to give them the money now, but they could start on it.
Sure. So we'd be given a total of $7,500, which is basically the total replacement cost as they have come up with it. So,
I'd also like to see not a blank permission to cut down whatever trees they wanted to cut down. I think that would require some more discussion before mature trees are cut down.
I don't know that they're going to remove the trees. There was some talk about the buckling of the sidewalk from some of them. I am not a tree expert.
Neither am I, that's what
Well, I
I'm
get the
saying.
impression.
No, I asked for some clarity as to whether or not we would cut them down.
But I wonder if, is there something you could do to the sidewalk instead of taking the tree down? If the tree is healthy and has a lot of years ahead of it.
When it's all said and done, we've already got the money allotted for a non-specific purpose. I move that we use $5,000 from the EDC budget of $15,000. We already have the $2,500 already in our budget. Just make sure that they do coordinate their activities with the DOT so that there would be, not be any disruption, but otherwise I'll make that motion.
Second. Any further discussion?
Again, back to the trees, I'd like to see not a blanket, you can cut down whatever you wanna cut down.
I don't think there is that there. They were talking about working with us.
Just
Yeah.
cut down mature trees scares me, so I like mature
I'll
landscaping.
amend the motion that any mature trees to be cut down would be brought to the attention of the board.
You want it brought to the attention of the entire board or just to our
I-
two ladies that are the beautification committee?
Yes, and their, management and beautification.
Okay, all right. So, you second that as well?
Second the amended motion.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any objection? Okay, looked like it was unanimous. Okay. All right, moving right along. Tractor trailers in Highlands. As you all know, and we talked about it at the joint meeting just very briefly, and Mayor Taylor of Highlands, I think that, all we need tonight is a motion to authorize this board to send a letter, or need to send a letter of support to the appropriate partners, and that would be basically the town of Highlands and the DOT, about it. What they're trying to do is to get those really large tractor trailer trucks off of, the Highlands Road and get them tangled up with the rock overhangs that are up there. There was another thing, but Mayor Taylor asked me, probably not to sign it. There is a national organization trying to limit the size of trucks. And I don't think we want to get into that. No, that's not our bailiwick. Oh, okay, so, does anyone want to make a motion to authorize the letter, which I will email the letter to everybody and make sure you're okay with it? Okay. Second, all in favor? All right. Discussion on proposed property exchange for Phillips Street and US 441 North. Madam Manager and Councilor Henning.
Mr. Mayor and council members, at your last meeting, we discussed the statutory process that we have to go through to be authorized to exchange property, which the proposed exchange is for that roughly, I believe it's an acre of property on Phillips Street for a parcel that Mr. Drake, Phil Drake, is offering to exchange out on 441 at the Drake Software Building, essentially. So we have advertised that we were going to consider that exchange, which is the only real statutory hurdle. And now before you, I have given you draft deeds that are for, the one that's not marked draft would be your deed to Mr. Drake for the portion of property on Phillips Street. The other one that is marked draft, because he has not had any opportunity to review it whatsoever, and notice it's just coming to you for the first time, would be for this 0.87 acre portion of property that's on the survey that you also have in front of you. The one thing that, and the survey is, this is the first time I'm getting to see it, I think it's fairly hot off the presses itself. The one thing I'm not seeing on here that I think needs to be a condition of the exchange is that it doesn't show it, there is a driveway that goes to the north side of that property and on down to 441. A lot of your discussion at the last meeting centered around whether or not that was a fair exchange. The Phillips Street property has a tax value of like about $125,000, I think. I showed you the just acre per acre portion of this property, which is quite a bit larger to equal $125,000. In discussions with Mr. Drake, he pointed out, and I think rightfully so, that and I think it's probably true, it'd be hard pressed to tell you if you put the Phillips Street property up for sale, that you would find somebody offering $125,000 for it. But the bigger thing to me that leveled the playing field was that he offered, and it's a condition of the deed that you would be giving him, that he would maintain that as a public parking lot for 10 years. So I think, to say that that remains as it is now, benefited of public parking for that period of time, especially given how much value we would realize, and especially the fire department would realize from having that area for a substation where it's located, makes a pretty good exchange. So I'm happy to answer any questions about it. We're at the point where you can authorize, and I would ask you to authorize it subject to legal review of both deeds and satisfactory rendering of that driveway. But otherwise you're legally able to authorize the exchange of this
special.
I think it's a good deal for us. It gives us something we
Almost
need
like
and
we're getting it
we
free.
get rid of something we don't,
Yeah,
that has no value for us. We get something we need.
Absolutely, like it's a kind of a home run personally.
okay.
I feel like I'm looking to give horse in the mouth here. I have some reservations about swapping a constituent asset for an asset that doesn't directly benefit in-town constituents, has a benefit to outlying residents. That being said, I understand that we have to do this because we've already committed to doing it, not this swap, but the substation idea. I have questions about how the fairness of what our constituents are getting in return for this, our in-town constituents.
How did we acquire that piece? Does anyone know?
The DNL portion, to be honest, I'm not certain.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah, it's a 1998 deed from Keith Dodge and wife. I honestly, until this came up, it hadn't occurred to me that the town owned it.
Was it a gift or?
I don't know.
It doesn't mean much to me that he's gonna leave it a parking lot for 10 years, because it's been a parking lot the last 20, nobody's found it yet. And he would probably be the most likely one to buy it, but he hasn't offered, and he certainly doesn't need it for building spaces, and he obviously doesn't need it for parking, or he would have been using it for now. I do understand the concept that, the advantage and the pluses of the satellite station is not necessarily gonna inure directly to the town's constituents. In the overall course of things, though, it's probably a pretty good fit. I cannot imagine that it would be worth anywhere near the $125,000 of tax value. I'm not an appraiser, I do land work as an attorney, and it's just not, doesn't seem to be a real desirable piece of land, so.
We will get tax revenue from it if it goes to a private.
And then it's worth $125,000.
It's not inconceivable, but that'll be in the city limits someday. It's not inconceivable.
How wide is our right of way going back down to the highway?
The one that I'm describing that was here.
We're gonna have two.
We are, and that was I think our understanding through that discussion was, yeah, it would be here and then also down through into an L loop, although obviously that's not a real direct route, but it does get you going, the other direction. It's not been defined, I think the road itself it comes under a 50-foot wide overhead utility line easement that's already there, so I don't think there's probably a whole lot of,
It looks like the beginning of this on this survey is 50 foot.
Yeah.
And I think we need at least that for the type of equipment we're talking about getting up there.
we may, and I think we'll, like I said, that at least that portion of it's gotta get put on flat. So we'll need to go back to the drawing board with the chief about that.
We would use the existing soil road. We wouldn't have the burden of excavating this road or we do have the burden of excavating this road, graveling this road, paving this road.
Future discussions, depending on how the council want to proceed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's gonna have to be a fairly extensive building plan to be done when you get to the point of actually putting the substation on it. So, that may well be part of that project.
I mean, this doesn't get us a substation, it gets us a substation site.
Gets us where we need to be.
Yes.
Gets us on the road to where we're supposed to be.
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? Not, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that we proceed with this transaction.
Second. All in favor? All opposed? Okay. All right. Counselor, I think you wanted the, number F on the agenda.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to give the board a quick update. The ordinance review committee has discussed the issue that came before you last month in I think, for whether it's an agenda item or not, a public session, about businesses that wanna be able to sell sell alcohol on sidewalks or be able to utilize portions of sidewalks for, customers, to be able to consume. We are working through, potential ordinance that would, let that happen in limited circumstances. What we looked at was limiting it to a space in front of a business, an ongoing business right in front of it in a way that didn't limit the sidewalk, that left it at least the ADA space, which is currently 5 feet wide, would have to remain passable. Since then, Danny Bates, from the police department has been talking with, Raleigh, the state ALE agents who are gonna give us some further, suggestions and guidance about how they think is best to implement this kind of thing. We're trying to arrange for them to come to the next meeting, of that, of the review committee, August 26th. And I think he said he was either gonna be able to get somebody here in person or maybe be a conference call, but we'd be able to walk through some concerns and figure out how best to address them. And then my anticipation is that your September 3rd meeting, we may have a draft ordinance for you to consider. Okay. That's where we are on it, and happy to answer your questions about it.
Any questions of Ms. Penny?
I'll ask, I know for Roland's situation, he asked if we had anything to help him with, in the temporary space between those people, not being able to get done.
Well, from what we learned today, the ALE, ABC Commission is gonna turn and say, where's your authority to, to do that on that property? And we just don't have the ordinance in place to do that now. And so, and I'd love to tell you, and we tried to think through this, whether I could hand you an ordinance right now that says that'll fix it and he'll be ready to go tomorrow. We just don't, we're not ready to take that step. And the other thing that ALE pointed out was, even if you pass that tonight, we were talking about some sort of a lease type structure for that portion of the sidewalk, which would kind of be a novel concept for you, in and of itself. He'd have to go and apply, and it takes a while even from there. So I'm afraid we're another step or two away from having that.
Still on the path.
Yes, sir.
To elaborate on that discussion, you're talking about the business owner would have to reapply. That's when they reapply with their new envelope of business, which could possibly include leasing of some sidewalk land.
Yes. And that's the way we understand is done in certain cities, Raleigh being the one that was cited to us. And you have it's also been, what we hear here, it was also called a restaurant.
Dining
A
extension.
dining extension,
Permit.
yeah. So,
We don't have a standard fee for leasing our sidewalks, do we?
No. No, and that's another issue that was, but we are working on it.
All right. Any further discussion of Ms. Penny? All right, Ms. Masters, you wanna be number G here?
Yes, I just wanted to discuss, this is nothing against the parallel parking that we've got in place on the right side, but the speed of people coming through, I guess we've been so used to the regular parking that there have been complaints of people having a difficult time trying to parallel park because they're just right on you when you come through. It's happened to me. I've thought about it and see a parking spot and they're just right behind you and you can't do it. What does anybody think about any kind of sign or something that could be put out there to slow down people about the parallel parking? I mean, is that?
I mean, I know we're doing the crosswalks, right? But
The
then
crosswalks
also I
have
got-
holdouts, right, that shrink the road down?
I also wonder too, I mean, if we did go to the sign, this is just from personal experience, I know it's a lot of cities just use like little solar powered flashing lights, just for, flashing light gets your attention all, at least it does mine.
Didn't we have some cones or some signs or something on the first crosswalk that said slow pedestrian 20 miles per hour at one time? That were pretty bright.
That's the speed limit anyway.
No, I know that.
The ones they had out in the middle of the road?
Yeah, didn't we put some out, like right at the crest of Town Hill, kind of?
Yeah, I think we did. I think it got cold. I'm sure.
I like the idea of incorporating the thing to the
parking.
crosswalk,
Uh-huh,
things,
right.
bulb outs and stuff, if we could get
Yeah, I mean,
something.
just something to get,
Yeah, I feel your pain, cause, you know, when you gotta stop and back in, car behind you doesn't realize what you're doing, all of a sudden, and then there's car behind it.
they're blowing horns
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
And yes, it is against the parallel parking, when somebody says, that means it always is, man, but that's okay.
So,
But it is a concern, I mean, yeah,
We
it's,
can-
If somebody says anything.
Well, I don't know if wind's out there, I've heard some of the business owners say they hear the horns blowing during the day because they're trying to park and,
Yeah, people do pull right up on, and then they fuss at the people trying to park, and that's what's so sad, there's that human common courtesy don't exist sometimes.
just too much speed.
See, I think it's easier to signal and parallel park than it was to back up from that blind spot.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
always scarier to me than anything, cause at least if you're parallel parking, you know the guy's not gonna plow into you, he's gotta slow down. So you can back up, whereas backing up blindly, you're just praying and backing up, you know?
but they're both called on the same issue, just common
Yes, they
courtesy
are.
and speeding, probably a common courtesy thing, maybe, I don't know, maybe we get some kind of creative sign, remind people to be
Am I the only,
courteous.
only
instead of
one
all
who
over the wall.
anyone else remember the Courtesy is a Winner campaign that Franklin Chamber of Commerce had about 35 years ago,
Everybody
maybe?
forgot.
Some of us are a bit older.
Maybe not.
I was looking at signs and I even saw, they didn't have any design for the parallel parking, but you know, you see all the signs now, like drive like your kids live here. I thought, okay, drive like your kids parallel parking here or something.
Yeah, parallel parking.
Oh,
Little, yeah.
okay, is there anything we can do on this tonight?
I'd be glad to address it with the police department and then just look at, cause it does depend on the issue.
Okay, before we go any further into the announcements, I saw Dave sneak in back there. Dave, shout out for your 80s flashback.
Well, thank y'all.
It was great.
It was
I just
great.
want to come by and say thank you, that's what was coming up tonight.
I was the only one that didn't have to dress up.
I
already
know.
wrote the part.
We had a great time, good
Yeah.
crowd, a lot of visitors, and actually, the single opera girl went up and down Main Street thanking every business pretty much in town.
Yeah.
So she had a blast, so she's actually wanting to come back next year, and I said, we'll see.
I like to say, I personally attended the event that he had at the Lazy Hacker, and that is one of the most impressive crowds I've seen downtown. You might outgrow the Lazy Hacker one day too, so we better get our Main Street ready one day. Right?
Jimbo, get ready for 80s flashback.
Another good fit. I mean, Dave's building a great thing there. And even when I talked to Brandon down in Curry, he said Dave was already on it, so people are really serious about it. Dave's doing a good thing, and the community's behind it, I feel.
It's a good cause. All right, anybody got anything before we go around the table? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, just real briefly, a
Yes,
couple of agenda, or, one's an agenda item, and one's not. I want to remind you of, since we had your special use permit hearing for Angel Medical Center in the consent agenda, I just want to remind you all that that's a special use permit hearing. That's a quasi-judicial procedure, meaning you're not supposed to go investigate that on your own. Everything you're supposed to make your decision on is going to be presented to you at that hearing. So that means avoiding discussion of it in public, avoiding, especially being quoted as having made up your mind about it one way or another. You need to come to that meeting with an open mind about that particular topic. Okay?
So if anybody asks you about that, John, where does it say that a public official cannot speak out on an issue of such magnitude?
So the body of law around special use permits is all about a landowner's rights, and you are going to determine their rights when you consider whether to grant them a special use permit.
Right.
And what the law is built up around that say is that means that they should get a neutral finder of fact that can make its decision based on only what's presented to it and not be biased by outside. It'd be like having a judge who doesn't base their opinion on what's presented at a trial, but goes out and finds out on their own what to think about it.
I understand that. Now, what about if someone comes to you and wants to express their concerns?
Punch them in the nose and run
Now, I
away.
ain't gonna do that, they're bigger and I'm too old.
I think,
But I'm dead serious about that. people want to get some answers, they have some concerns about this hospital.
Well, if I had to script an answer for you, it would be to say, I understand your concern about it, I appreciate that you want to tell me your opinions about it. Please understand, this is, by law, this is a matter I have to remain neutral on and not comment on, and I have to make my decision based on what's presented at the hearing. And the hearing's at 6:05 PM on
You
September
can
3rd.
invite them to come speak at the public hearing, right?
That's right, yeah, that's right. Okay. All right.
The other thing, Mr. Mayor, real briefly, that I just wanted to review for you all, because it hasn't come up in quite a while, is about animal control. You have done something for animal control, and it's that, several members of what had been the Board of Aldermen, and I think Mr. Collins worked with the county-wide group that worked on what kind of ordinance to have for the whole county. And the county adopted an animal control ordinance that you, by policy, have asked the county to enforce within the town limits, and to my knowledge, until recently, that's gone pretty well. So I think it ought to be stated for the record that it's not that you have just sat back and waited for something terrible to happen. To my knowledge, animal control up until these recent events we're hearing about is going pretty well.
There is an ordinance in place in the town, it's just the county ordinance.
And now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't examine whether or not something else would work better for you. It's just, it's not that you haven't done.
Carmen Rocco, the acting interim health director, has been very cooperative with our police, animal control. Everybody got together on this particular issue, and I think right now, I feel like we've done all we can do. The owner's in jail for cruelty to animals. The dogs are in a county pound right now. They're no longer got residents. And, but I do think that probably we're gonna have to look at a leash law, as Ms. McMahon was talking about.
That's the main thing that I'm concerned about is, now, if you live out in the county, it's a whole different ballgame than it is if you live close proximity to your neighbors. And when your dogs are allowed to run at large, that can cause problems between neighbors, which we do not need.
Well, we're working on it, let me assure you, we really are, and we're in touch with the health department, animal control, police. Everybody is on board with making sure that this gets started.
See, this has gone on for over a year,
I know it has, yes, ma'am.
and it's on record with the police department
We know.
and animal control too.
You're right.
And they told me our hands are tied when they came. All we can do is give them back to the owner at that time, the first time I called.
Well, we found the loophole where we got that
Well,
taken care of.
We need to do more,
Well,
because
it
it
will
would be
because we found,
absolutely horrible
we found a loophole where we don't
if
have to
a
give
child
anything
is mauled or killed.
back. You're absolutely
They're
right.
so defenseless. And I certainly don't want it to be one of my grandchildren.
None of us do. Okay, around the table. Ms. McMahon, Barbara, Ms. Mayor. All right. You wanna make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Hold on a second. I just wanted to mention a couple things since we talked about alcohol and sidewalks and things like that. We won't have information from the consultants and the charrette, until later on, but I did wanna mention that sidewalk dining did score very highly in a couple of those meetings, as well as, alleyway beautification and possible alleyway dining. That being said, at the shred, I talked to a couple people on the planning board, and I'd like to next meeting maybe revisit our idea of having a board liaison to the planning board or any other boards that we think could benefit from cross communication. That's it.
All right. I wanna make a announcement, Public Safety Day will be Saturday, August the 24th, from 10 to 1 p.m. at the gazebo. This is put on, I guess, all the emergency services, police, fire, rescue, really for kids, they love it. All right, motion to adjourn, Mr. Collins?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? We're adjourned.
Thank y'all for watching.